Hi guys, I'm Jennifer and welcome to my channel, Mint Green Gypsy. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And we are going to be doing 3 easy spring projects. I hope you enjoy them. For project 1, we are taking this metal Tealight house that I found at the thrift store and giving it an updated look. I'm using Debi's DIY paint in white Swan and giving it a thin coat of paint. Debi's DIY clay paint has great adhesion properties and sticks to many types of surfaces. Here I'm applying a thin coat and then letting the paint dry thoroughly before moving on to the second coat. When applying the second coat of paint, I am stippling it on so that I do not have any brush strokes. If you find that your DIY paint is too thick, you can always add some bottled water to thin out the paint. This will also help you have less brush strokes. Now that the second coat of paint has dried, I've gotten out my IOD Pennsylvania Folk stamp set and my China Blue ink. I am using a thin mount and I am stamping the house with random patterns, choosing them as I go. You can see I missed part of the flower and I will correct that in a minute. When stamping, to make sure you don't smear the ink, you hold the stamp with one hand, never letting go, and with your other hand, press the stamp into the surface, and then carefully lift the stamp away from the surface so that you don't smear. I'm using a wet wipe to clean off the stamp and then re-inking only the part of the flower that I missed. I'm laying the stamp back down, lining it up as closely as I can to re-stamp that part of the missing flower. When I am stamping, I find it helpful to keep a wet wipe nearby. I'm cleaning the sides of my thin mount so I don't transfer extra ink onto the project. I'm using this painter's tape to help me keep the ink off a part of the stamp, but I found it not helpful. I could easily just not ink that part of the stamp, so I didn't use the painter's tape going forward. I did not use a thin mount with this vertical vine stamp because the overhang of the roof was in the way. It made stamping difficult, and I did end up smearing the ink on both sides of the house. And you'll see me correct that in a moment. I am using Big Top, which is a clear top coat by Debi's DIY paint line, to cover up the smeared ink. If I just use White Swan on top of the ink, I would have bleed through, so I'm first applying Big Top and then White Swan to correct the smeared ink. I'm now going around the edges of the house with gold wax. I find it best to just use my finger to apply the gold wax. I always let the ink dry overnight before applying a top coat to my project because I've ruined several projects by smearing my ink. So it's the next day and I am sealing the entire project with Big Top coat. And this project is just about done. Let me know what you think in the comments. Project 2 is a really easy makeover. I bought this wood brick mold from my shop, but I wanted to add something extra to it. So I picked out some transfer pieces from IOD's Brocante transfer pack to add them to the front of this brick mold. I did not realize it at first, but because I had such a hard time with this transfer, the brick mold definitely had a wax finish on it. So after I rubbed the transfer for a while, I finally got it transferred onto this piece. So if you didn't already know, transfers are not compatible with wax. So don't use wax before your transfer. You can use wax on top of a transfer, but not before you apply the transfer to the piece. Learn from my mistakes. I'm just lifting the backer and rubbing at the same time to get this to transfer onto my piece, and then gently going over the transfer after it's on the mold with my finger to make sure it's adhering. I'm using Big Top Top Coat over this transfer to protect it, and it also makes the halo around the transfer invisible. To style the brick mold, I am using old glass bottles to which I added a few transfers from the Ephemeral Melange pack and some sprigs of faux greenery. And this project is just about complete. Please let me know what you think in the comments. For project 3, we are going to repaint this wood 90s tray. I thought I could get away without sanding the prior paint off, but after a first coat of paint, I was able to see raised paint lines. So off camera, I took the wood tray outside and sanded it. And now I am using Fusion and Bayberry to paint this tray. I use Fusion Mineral Paint because it has a built-in top coat, and I will be wet distressing back some of the paint on this project, and I did not want the yellow paint to show through in the distressing. Now I'm applying Debi's DIY clay-based paint in white Swan over the Fusion Bayberry. DIY paint does not have a built-in top coat, so I am able to wet distress this paint so that the Bayberry color will show through underneath in the distressing. I end up applying 2 coats of DIY paint, and now I'm taking a wet wipe and I am distressing back in certain places around the edges the DIY paint so that I can see the Fusion Bayberry. I did add a sealer big top to this project, and I let the paint dry overnight before applying this transfer from IOD's Brocante transfer pack. If you are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps YouTube know to suggest my video to others, and I would really love it if you subscribe to my channel. I am using the transfer stick that comes in the transfer pack to rub on this transfer, releasing it onto the painted wood tray. Now I am going over the transfer with my finger, making sure the transfer is adhered along the edges to the project before applying a sealer. I am using Debi's DIY clear wax to seal this project. I wanted to add some age to the tray, so I am going over it with dark wax after the clear wax has been applied and wiped back. The clear wax allows you to control the amount of dark wax on your project. If you feel like you get too much dark wax, you can go over it again with clear wax to remove some of the dark wax. I just wanted to thank you for being here today and spending your time with me. Please don't forget to like my video and let me know what you think of this tray makeover in the comments.